communication and a leadership, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. With that note, with hundreds of applause, I would like to call Mr. Arun on the stage.
Toastmaster Kalpesh doing the essay work with phenomenal sincerity and diligence as always. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Today is extremely special, not because we are having an education session, but with one more thunderous round of applause, let's welcome our veteran missing in action Toastmaster Vinay. Beautiful Sunday morning, isn't it? Spring to summer, it's really nice in Bangalore. And since Arjit has already engaged you with how was your week, I'm not going to ask you the same question. So my job today, I'm filling in for Toastmaster Dixon because he's traveling. He has a family function. This is the first time I'm doing a presiding officer role at Hoodi Toastmasters Club. Give me a round of applause. Cool. So Toastmasters started in 1924 by a person called Dr. Ralph C. Smedley, and he wanted to make better public speakers, and he wanted to give a platform for people to build that. And then eventually people said speaking is not enough, we should also be leaders. So we said this is where leaders are made. So we are all in the process of being leaders. And what more, we have like hundreds and thousands of members, 190 countries, so many clubs, 35,000 clubs or whatever. So extremely fantastic in terms of what this organization does. And it's so beautiful to for people to keep joining other club meetings. And the best part is you can join a club meeting anywhere in the world if you allow for virtual meetings. Don't expect visas to be processed by a club in London. That's not going to happen. But if you want to attend a virtual meeting, you can always do that. So because the fee is common, we pay as astronomical as what the Americans do, right? So make use of it. Okay, you are free to attend Bangladesh also. It's okay. Anyway, so on that note, I'll also take this opportunity to talk to a few guests today. Siddharth will come to you last, okay? Not guest. Kshitij, you were here last time. Anybody here for the first time? Priyanka also is there. Dolly is a regular guest at our club. Which club you actually belong to, Dolly?
We are trying to get her.
So she's a guest still.
I'm a recurrent guest, I should say. And today
I actually thought you're a TM Dolly. You are possibly attending this meeting longer than I have.
Yeah, I think this is the third time I'm joining as a guest today, especially because of the
Dolly. Amazing. Siddharth, how does it feel to be attending a club meeting outside of your regular club? And we are going to do something special first today. We'll come to that. But yeah, tell me which wedding did you like the best?
The one in Kharagpur. Right. I met my school friends after 10 years. Sorry, college friends. I told the students.
Nice. Amazing, fantastic. So we have an action-packed meeting today, and a typical Toastmaster meeting would have 3 segments, which is a prepared speech segment, a table topic section, and an evaluation segment. Today we are going to go off the beaten path a little bit, and in a very timely manner, I would say. The contest season is coming up, right? Which means we'll have contests on international speech contest, table topics, evaluation, and we want to do as much as we can for our club to be ready for these wonderful contests. And for that, we have made a slight change to the schedule today. So we are going to have an education session first, and then we will have an we'll have prepared speech and an evaluation. But before that, I need to introduce a very, very special Toastmaster, I would say, somebody whom I revere a lot, respect a lot for what she brings to the table in every Toastmaster meeting, regardless of the role she plays. And she is a great speaker, and she is a speaker coach for speakers as well. And she wants to provide a platform wherever possible to make people much better speakers. On that note, put your hands together for Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Tanuja.
special introduction. No, not such an introduction. Thank you so much. Toastmaster Arun. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sunny morning. Yes. Sandeep, come here. I'm not able to see you properly. Thank you so much all for attending today's meet. A special meet today is going to be special for me. We'll come to that later. What happens when it thunders outside? And there's lightning and thundering. If you're outside, what do? You take shelter?
Yeah.
Try and reach home fast. Isn't that so? What if wherever you take shelter, that area, that part, that room is also thundering and lightning there? What happens? You feel intimidated. You feel scared. That's exactly what happened when I joined Toastmasters. I call it a parent club, though I've switched the clubs after that twice. Kurmangla Toastmasters Club is my parent club. I still have connection with that club. I do attend meetings there and I have very good friends there. When I attended my first meeting there as a guest, I was awed by the speaker, Kishore. He's the president, current president there. After that, I didn't have to think twice to become a member of that club. No one had to convince me. I came to know there are some great speakers there. Probably the oldies like me would know the names of them. Pramit, I don't think he's a Toastmaster now. Pramit, if you know, then Kaushal, he's left Toastmasters now. So those days, they were just like thunder and lightning to me. I wanted to become like them. But I was so awed and intimidated at the same time, which I call as awestruck and thunderstruck at the same time. I would take the courage to go up on the stage. I'm a perfectionist in one way. Until I know how to speak like them, I will not give my icebreaker. It took me 3 months to give the icebreaker after joining. 6 months to take up a major role like a TMOD role with shivers inside. It took me 9 to 10 months to take up a GE role. That was my condition, awestruck and thunderstruck by them. They were division district level finalists. What I didn't realize, and I realized it much later, that these thunders, external or internal, are the barriers that limit us. They did not become such good speakers. They were not born such. They became after practice. Even I have to take a chance and practice. Anyone can become like them. And that's when I started coming up on the stage, taking up roles and doing more and more. And today what you see me is an entirely new Tanuja. That's what my message is for you through this taste the thunder, please. Practice. Practice. Don't be afraid of any failures because failures are going to tell you. And in Toastmasters, what Kalpesh just now said, we have a supportive learning environment. We clap even when you stay mum on the stage. So please, all those who are new to Toastmasters and who are yet to join Toastmasters, please join us and learn to be confident, learn to taste the thunder. We are going to learn how to taste the thunder of contests today through a special person. I'm again thunderstruck by his achievements. And this person is going to tell us how to contest, how to prepare for the international speech contest. After this session, we're going to have the only prepared speech today by Toastmaster Harsha. And after that will be the evaluation session as usual. This person who's going to tell us about how to taste the thunder of contests is a thought designer. I don't know what it is, but I'm already impressed. I'm already impressed. He's a thought designer. He is an improvisation artist, if I've taken that title properly. His interests are psychology, philosophy, and marketing, a deadly combination of what these people are the ones who talk us into buying things which we don't buy. Right? How to place the chocolates near the counter. Children will immediately go, Mama, chocolate first. Okay, and not just children, even I fall for the chocolate.
We know.
Okay, more on that later. I forgot I have to call another cute person, a sweet person, and I came to know today only that he loves sweets. That's why he's so sweet. Who is the general evaluator of today? Toastmaster Oreo-ji. He has re-christened himself as Oreo-ji. I asked him once, how do I call you? Origin or Origin? Because I thought he's a Bengali and a Bengali is always pronounced as O. He said very pronounced and he's so liberal. But thanks to this person only, we have reached the status. By we, I mean the club has reached the status what it is at present today. The growth of this club is all due to our general evaluator today, Toastmaster Oreo-ji. Yes.
Toastmaster Tanuja for that nice introduction. But only one aspect of that is that speech is correct. Is Bengalis and liberal. The others, it went on an exaggeration mode, but as a club, we have done a lot of things together, and credit is due to each and everyone over here. So I'm the general evaluator for today's meeting, and we as evaluators take care of a lot of aspects of how to make a person confident while he or she is on stage and communicating their thoughts to each other. In this role, I have a tag team. Essentially, it is called the timer, a counter, and the comedian role. And today's timer is also a very sweet person. He's witty and he is also the pundit of puns. I would like to welcome Toastmaster Arun.
Today, it's expected to be a slightly simpler role for me because we just have one prepared speech and the evaluation for that. So the prepared speech duration would be 5 to 7 minutes, which means at 5 minutes I would be showing the green card, at 6 minutes I would be showing the yellow card, and at 7 minutes I will show the red card. And the speaker will have a grace time of 30 seconds on either side of 5 minutes and 7 minutes to complete the speech. Apart from that, for the evaluator, the time given is 2 to 3 minutes, which means 2 minutes would be the green card, 2.5 would be the yellow card, and 3 minutes would be the red card, and there would be a half a minute grace time beyond 3 minutes for evaluation to be completed. I will present my report at the end of the day when called upon by the general evaluator. Back to you.
Thank you. Summarizing your role as today's timer of the meeting. Next is a first time role taker, I presume, because I have been a little absent also. So a first time role taker, I have not met him officially. I've interacted with him through WhatsApp, but what I've been told that he carries his swag. And without any delay, I would like to invite Toastmaster Sandeep. So hi everybody, I'll be the counter for today. So I'll be looking out for
filler words or repetitions, right? And I'll be presenting my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you. Short and sweet way of telling us about your role and responsibility as a accountant for today's meeting. The next gentleman I would be inviting is a very dear friend of mine. He has always been supportive despite his absence, but he has always been there. His presence is always felt. I love to discuss cricket, cinema, songs with this gentleman. I will tell more about him, but with a warm round of applause, please welcome the grammarian for today's meeting.
I'm coming, you are going. So I'm Vinayaka Murugan, the grammarian for today. Communications is one of the key areas we all seek to nurture in Toastmaster session. Right? That's why we come. One of the reasons why we come to Toastmasters. When you say communications, I prefer to focus on the content rather than on the way it is given rather than the actual content. So please expect me to be a bit more lenient. I'm not going to nitpick on each and everything, but there will be some guidelines on the good. I mean, definitely more things on the good usage of grammar, and some cases where there could be some improvement. I'll point it out if it is something very jarring. Otherwise, I'm going to be a very lenient grammarian. The word of the day is artificial. It's an adjective. It can be. It is used to refer to things which are man-made rather than natural occurring. In a negative connotation, it is addressing people who are fake or pretentious. It could be used in that way. Usage would be artificial intelligence is the trend, is the current trend, and it's in the air, so to say. That could be one way of looking at it. Thank you.
We check the AC is working properly. Just check whether it's Thank you. And yeah, so one thing I wanted to tell you about Vinayak. So early morning when I get up or late night, I suddenly send him a song. Vinayak, have you heard this song? And we'll be exchanging a lot of thoughts on the song about how it was composed. So I love interacting with Vinayak on matters like this. Next, I will be handing over the stage to a very lovely Toastmaster who has brought a lot of value in the club by her presence and has chosen a very appropriate topic or theme for today's meeting. Without any further delay, Toastmaster.
Thank you. We are now going to have a much awaited education session by Toastmaster Siddharth. Since he's an improvisation artist, I give you a situation. Okay. I've invited you to my house for a tea party. I offer you juice, but the juice is stale, expired, and it tastes horrible. You, as a guest and as a sweet person you are, you will not show it. How will you react after taking a sip? What happened? What happened, Siddharth? Anything wrong with the juice?
So, Torolo, one right?
That you will do to the washroom? Yeah, please. Straight and then right. Please be happy to do so. What happens in that?
No, I think some flight came.
Shall I bring another one? Another glass for you?
No, that's okay. I have a cold. So that's okay. I would prefer tea instead.
Oh,
You make amazing tea, dazzling.
are you sure you want to have tea in
Yes.
this hot season?
I wouldn't mind. You can give me cold tea, iced tea.
I'm sorry, Siddharth, I don't have iced tea because I don't drink iced tea.
All right, hot tea.
Should I warm this soup up? Sorry. This soup.
Can try, would you share that?
I think welcome our electrifying guest and speaker for today, who's going to tell us, educate us how to conduct ISCs. Welcome.
How many of you here have felt that there's a lot of hype on this session at this moment?
No.
Hype? No. Okay, perfect. And that's the hand that. Perfect. Just a quick AV check for the online audience. Can you hear us? See, hear well?
Yes.
Yes. Everything is in sync. Okay, perfect. I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. There's a quote by somebody called Thomas Cooley. Now, I tried to understand what is the essence of this line. I'll repeat it. I'm not who I think I am. I'm not who you think I am. I'm what I think you think I am. Eventually, what I understood is it's a very confusing line. But probably the essence would be that it's in any sort of communication, it's a lot about what the other person feels or receives it as. It's not about whether I say that, hey, this is what it is, that is what it is. It's about how the other person receives. And be it ISC, which is anybody who doesn't know what is ISC?
A lot of
I will come to that. That's it. Anybody wants to say what is ISC? ISC. International Speech Contest. Thank you. Thank you for that. So for me, ISC, when I started competing 2 years ago, that was when Scam 1992 wasn't released. I used to say, ISC hai to ishq hai. Pronounce that, right? ISC ishq. Because that was the passion that I carried towards ISC. So ISC is one of the most premier competitions or contests in Toastmasters. It is the only contest which goes all the way till the international level. Everything else stops at something called the district level. Right? We have the humorous speech contest, table topics, evaluation contest, etc. etc. Now, when I said that it's a lot about how the other person receives, it's not just in ISC or in table topics or evaluation, but in general in communication. And and that's what I understood, that that's what I learned after competing in ISC. There were multiple learnings from me. One of them was after a possible second round exit, when I came in second, I was in the area level contest. I did not know that I could go further. Even for you, sir? Of course. We thought we left. I mean, it's over for us. We lost. But then we realized that any area which has 4 or less than 4 clubs, 2 people can go to the next level. And after that, I came first in the division and went further, right? Now, there's another saying that I believe in. It's in Sanskrit. Yatha vristi, tatha srishti. I'll come to this towards the end as well. I will do a small activity, but the overall point is, it means the way you see the word, the same way the word starts appearing to you. If there was a small experiment done on, say, dogs, there was one dog which was very angry, one dog which was very happy. Both the dogs were sent to a room full of mirrors. The first dog saw a lot of similar happy dogs, the happier dog. The angry dog saw a lot of angrier dogs in the room full of mirrors. Came out even more angrier this side and came out even more happier. The point is, the way we see the world comes back to us, right? And in ISC or in contests, that's what I'll do towards the end, right? The activity where would request you all to start believing. That's the first point, that you all can win, not just the club contest or the area or the division or the district, but all the way till the top. Right? You can win. Oh, all right. Having said that, to everybody who doesn't know what is ISC, ISC is International Speech Contest, which towards the end is also called the World Championship public speaker. Now, there are multiple templates now. I don't have a board nor a screen. That's okay. The words are sufficient. Now, any speech, how many of you here have completed level 2 in your path? 1, 2, 3. Online, anybody?
Mona Lisa, yeah, four.
All right. Now, the criteria to contest in ISC is slightly tricky. If you are a charter member, etc., there are certain rules. But considering Hoodi Club, you're already chartered at least 1 year plus. So the criteria for ISC is that you should have completed level 2. Level 2 as in level 1 and level 2, not level 1 in one path and level 1 in another path, right? So you should have completed level 2 before the club contest. So if your club contest is on 12th March,
Yeah.
you should have ideally completed your level 2 at least by 11th March, or even 1 minute before the contest. But then it doesn't get allotted because of the online time zone difference, right? Now, another technical aspect is ISC speeches are worth 5 or are 5 to 7 minutes long, where you get a buffer of 30 seconds before and after this duration, which means that you can end your speech at 4 minutes 30 seconds or 7 minutes 30 seconds. This is your qualification window. Anything under or beyond that will be disqualified. This qualification is very important. There are multiple rules about qualification. I would highly recommend everybody to go to District 92's website. There's a big bundle on contest management, rules, etc. There are a lot of judges, etc. And something that we also discussed is about the speech ballot, which means how does somebody vote? There are 3 sections in that. So the first section is on content, second is on delivery, third is on language. Content has. You have it? Sure. Again, I would also recommend everybody to Google this part as well.
I'll share it to the group.
Sure, you can share it. Right? So the first section has again 3 subsections: speech development, structure, etc. So I would request you all to go through it. There are further definitions on that speech palette in the second page on what does each element mean. And you can Google further or reach out to me. I'll explain what all of this means. But the whole point is, in your speech, 50% of the weightage of scoring or marks, 50% of weightage is given to the content, 30% to delivery, and 20% to language. Language could mean grammar or appropriateness, punctuation, multiple things, right? Now, as an example from the content part, there is something called structuring or organizing your speech. Now, that takes some weightage, I think 15 or 25 points. So it's a total of 100 points. It takes some more weightage. So what I would recommend is, if you're competing, also try to incline yourself a little towards the ballot. Just try to understand how will you be scored, because eventually that will take you to the next level and you'll start competing with much more better people. I'm not saying all of these people are bad, but I'm just saying that the level of contest elevates at the area level, division level, district level. And people judge you on the ballot because that's the standard or streamlined method across the 140 countries wherever the contest is happening. Right? Now, having said that, all of these technicalities are aside, why contest? These 2 people have been division contestants. I would ask you, why contest?
Why should one contest or why are contested? What is it?
First one, why should one contest? Why did you contest?
So, for the sheer joy of a competition, to see where we stand, to see how other speakers speak, and if you get propelled further, even better. So you get a bigger audience, and you can keep testing how relevant your content is to as large an audience as you can get.
On the
Always on
the same lines, the primary idea of contesting was to see that how well my thoughts resonate with an audience. And whether it increases. So that was how it progresses was my goal. And of course, we like to have trophy at home also.
Perfect. All right. Good points. Now, the whole point is it could be different for everybody. Why should one contest? For me, personally, I hated the speeches that were delivered in Toastmasters, many of them. I did not find them to be polished enough. No, I was somebody who considers almost everything as a piece of art. Be it cooking, be it painting anyway is an art. But even a speech is an art. It's a piece of art where you put in a lot of efforts, try to tweak it, polish it, etc. etc. And whenever I watch a lot of YouTube videos, I see that they're so nicely polished. The content creator is speaking so nicely. Whereas we look at a lot of Toastmaster speeches, they start with "Good morning, I am going to talk about this." So it's just not polished enough. It might not even hook the audience. Whereas YouTube, you might just go on and on, or Instagram, right? So there was this bug in me that should I try creating an entertaining speech and deliver it? And it wasn't the norm back then. I don't know if it's there right now or not, but we don't see a lot of entertaining speeches in Toastmasters. It's generally about deliver a message or a person's story. What I wanted to do was, by the way, I've been pretty much an online Toastmaster. What I wanted to do was not just use my words, but also use a lot of visual effects, sound, and a lot of other things. So maybe I just so I use a lot of props, for example. I had bought this green screen or this TikTok light. I was designing a lot of virtual backgrounds. I don't know if you can see this, but I had painted my face as well.
You can share it, or we'll share it on the screen.
Sure. How do I share?
Share it on the.
All right. It should come. Anyway, the whole point is I wanted to use music, for example, to create that nice effect. Whenever we watch any movie, it generally starts with a nice background track, background music. I wanted to use that because I have never seen that happen in any speech till date, especially online. Not hadn't seen. I also used to play a lot with virtual backgrounds. So if I'm present here delivering a speech, I would prepare a twin of mine who's just walking around or doing something, or I had a plan to have a dog barking and I would just run away, etc. So I wanted to create all of these visual effects and try to see if it works. And because first thing that I did was Google what is a speech, and nowhere was it written that we can't do all of these things. Right? So that was my why. What actually happened is way back in 2019, I hadn't completed level 2. One of my mentors had told me that, hey, please complete your level 2. I want to see you contest because I think you can do it. And you took 3 months to finish your icebreaker. I took 1 year, 1 month to finish my icebreaker. Absolutely. So what happened is I delivered my first speech in a contest that was a tall tales contest. I hadn't delivered an icebreaker as well. But that day when I delivered that speech in the tall tales contest, which I lost because of time disqualification, I started delivering speeches. But again, I lost the momentum. After 1 or 2 speeches, my second speech was a Hoodi Toastmaster Club. I started losing the momentum. And that's when I realized that if you're delivering speeches every 1 month or 3 months or beyond that, you're not doing justice to yourself. You deliver a speech, you put in a lot of efforts, and then your evaluator gives you some feedback. You don't incorporate that for 3 months, you forget that. You're pretty much restarting your entire channel. Although on paper it might show that you're completed the project. So what is best is keep the momentum. Keep up the momentum, deliver speeches very frequently. Now, I'm not a big fan of those people who finish their entire path in 20 days, 3-4 weeks or something. because that might degrade the quality as well. Here, you might not really degrade the quality if you are delivering a speech almost every week. And whoever is in level 1, trust me, with 12 marks, you can still complete your level 2 and contest. You'll have that amazing momentum like a flight taking off, right? You would have just completed 3-4 speeches of level 2, completed that, and you're contesting in the speech contest. You'll be able to probably do better in speech contest than if you had already completed level 2. So you have a small edge because of the momentum factor. Okay? having said that, why contest? In my opinion, a contest, now I don't want to break these words as contest is concentrated testing. I believe from my experience, contest is a concentrated learning. Now, as I said, if you're delivering a speech every 3 months, it's a waste of, or you're not doing justice to yourself. But if you decide to contest, you start gathering all the energy, concentrate all your efforts just towards the ballot, for example. You start structuring your speech better. You start finding a particular key message, or you start using your voice better. Slow it down. You start tweaking it to see if it works for the audience or not. So it's a very concentrated effort, and your journey in Toastmasters, right? If you contest, it's more of a crash course for you to learn or get better. It's a big jump start if you just contest. And if you win, you can't contest or compete with other people or wider set of audience, tougher contestants. You have to up your game further. You start practicing more. Arijit is aware that we had something called Spendly Army last year where we practiced almost every day. ISC we practiced twice a week, and table topics evaluation we practiced every day. So that was the power of consistency that we believed in, and we practiced again and again and again. Right. So considering and hoping that you all might contest and complete level, whoever hasn't completed. What goes on behind an ISC speech? Now, ISC speech could be a normal speech. It's just that it has to be a winning speech as per the ballot, as per the judges. It has to appeal to everybody. Now, have you all heard that people keep saying that we need to have personal stories in our speech? Now, I don't believe in this.
Yeah.
I just don't like including a lot of my personal stories in my speeches. I bring in a lot of abstract characters, for example. I bring in a lot of fictional characters and all of that, and still go ahead with a story if required, or make it an informational speech. Now, when I talk about having
Have some water.
yeah, I mean,
Or else
one second. Have some hot water. No, have some hot water. I did not want to deliver this in online. It's a long journey. Sorry, what was I saying? I was
entertaining, need not be personal. Add fiction characters.
Do not want to add personal things.
sorry.
Do not want to add personal things in the speech.
Well, not,
Or
you're
somewhere
not
in
using personal stories, but more of animated characters.
Right. I still lost track.
Stories.
Perfect. No, I still lost the track of where I was going. But still, how do you start with the? It could be any speech. It could be an information. You might have heard this, right? That any speech could be of 4 types.
Screen got stuck, huh?
Yes.
Had only you are able to hear my voice?
Yeah, I can hear you, but not the.
Toastmasters.
Yes.
Yeah, I hear the same.
I think the online participants have got disconnected from the.
Yeah.
offline event.
Mm. Some network
I'm not
issue.
sure if they're aware. Should we inform someone?
Yeah, like ping in a group, WhatsApp group, if you have.
Okay.
I'm calling them, guys. Just give me 1 minute. I'm calling them. It will reconnect.
Yes.
Okay. Enter.
Alright. When I talked about stories, I got back to what I wanted to say. You could use your personal stories or you could use fictional characters. But the point is, stories connect because stories come with emotions. And emotions are those underlying concepts or factors which connect with the other person, which communicate. Now, my words might not directly speak to you or your emotions. The emotions that I bring along when I'm using a story, those emotions speak directly to you. And that might inspire you, might entertain you, inform or persuade you, right? Now, I am a strong believer that don't focus on using your stories to make the other person laugh or cry. Your stories or your emotions should be used to unlock somebody else's own story. When you're saying that I faced a lot of grief because my dog died, I might be using some grief and pain. Now, the other person who's listening might resonate with that and might feel the pain of his or her own loss. It could be a dog or somebody in the family or somebody else, right? So it's not about they feeling your pain. It's about they unlocking their own pain and feeling that. That's the essence of using stories. Sorry. I have a few more things that I wanted to talk about. How to get better at ISC. In the interest of time, I just wanted to speak on these aspects. I personally believe it's very important to start evaluating your. Now, you might be delivering a lot of speeches, you might be practicing different audience, etc., etc. You might get a lot of feedback. But what I feel is, you start doing a lot of evaluations. You're indirectly looking into the negatives of somebody else's speech, and it comes to your mind as well subconsciously that hey, even I could improve on say the body language aspect or the voice modulation. And you're also trying to help the other person get better by giving a recommendation that hey, stop keeping your hand in the pocket. So you might also subconsciously start not doing that if you were doing so. Start evaluating more because that unlocks a wide horizon for you to get better at. Start, it could be twice a week. If you evaluate, 2 evaluations per week should take you long way in your ISC preparation as well. Apart from this, there's this concept called crow. I use that in my improv. If you're using a story, the other person should also understand that it's a story, should be able to relate to it. Now, for that, in your story, in your speech, these things should be set up very well, or the context should be set very well, which is CRO, C for characters. Who are the characters? Who is this person? Who is that person? Whomever you are talking about in your story, R for relationship should be very clear. O, what is the objective? What are they actually doing for them? And W for where, sometimes optional, but still helps build the entire scene. Why is Crow very important? It's because the other person listening can visualize the entire thing. Now, when I start saying that it was a dark, stormy night, the dogs were barking 20 feet away from me. I started feeling the pain, or I started shivering. I was worried and all of that. So if I start picturizing this entire thing, it's a lot about narrating the entire thing by describing the entire scene, which is where you need to ensure that the crow part is set in say the first 15 to 30 seconds, right? If you're using a story, 90 to 95% of people use a story in their speeches. Apart from this, wanted to specifically highlight that you should know the rules very, very well. You can be disqualified sometimes for certain things. If you're using somebody else's content, for example, or if you're not giving enough credits by, if you had quoted somebody else, if you're not giving enough credits or quoting them, you can be disqualified. So better know the rules. Or I and him did not probably know the rules that we would move to the next level, even though we didn't come first. So know the rules better, know why you'll be judged on what all parameters. Last thing that I want to talk about is something that that has helped me a lot. Whenever you're delivering a speech, don't consider that you're delivering a speech to a Toastmaster or the audience is only Toastmasters. The audience, your ideal audience should be anybody in the world, and they should be able to understand what you're saying. I personally have a friend through whom I basically run my entire speech through my friend. He's not a Toastmaster. He listens to it and provides his inputs. And that helps me a lot, and I realized I need to just tear the entire page and throw it in the dustbin, or should I continue ahead? So try doing this as well with your family itself or friends, whoever might be interested, whoever might listen to you. Right? Having said that, we can open the floor for questions.
Yeah.
Now, the entire part is that ISC is a very big arena. It starts with the club contest on 12th, area contest on 4th of April, the first week. After the division contest, district contest. But there are multiple aspects to look into. It could be how are you standing on the stage? Will you have hybrid contest?
No.
In person. Area contest might be hybrid, possible.
No,
Even if
it's going to be person, compulsory now, mandatory. Area contest.
no,
not
even if one contestant wants to join online, it has to be hybrid.
It has been kept like that. Even at the last moment, a person tells I want to do it hybrid. So they have to arrange, they have to make arrangements.
So there are a lot of aspects. It could be about using something called triads, or how do you start your speech? There are these standard things like start with an opening, body, conclusion. And opening could be start with a code or an act or surprise somebody or hook the audience, etc., etc. Body could be descriptive enough with 1 or 2 points, enough examples. Conclusion has to have a message. Now, all of these are templates. Even if you Google, you might be able to get all of these things. But the whole point is start practicing, start polishing your speech, run it through a non-Toastmaster and a lot of Toastmaster audiences. Not just this club, outside this club as well. Keep practicing, see where it leads you. Right? So, having said that, questions? Yes.
As you mentioned that you are not in favor of using personal stories a lot,
Yeah.
which is much the trend. However, you said that we can use virtual backgrounds and animated backgrounds and all. Are they allowed?
So, to answer your question, 2 years ago when I contested, the entire contest was solely online. That was allowed as a prompt. So I had painted my face, for example. I had used virtual backgrounds. All of this had to be announced or disclosed to the contest.
Before you start.
Before you start, you have to announce it. I had brought a cigarette, for example. I had a mask, a Batman mask, which, for example, if I turn off the lights, it would start glowing in the eyes. So I had planned all of these things. Didn't work out. That was a different scenario.
Okay, so
But now-
because what I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, but now the contest, considering it being fully in person, at least at the club level, you might have different sets of props that you can use. Not the virtual background, right? But anything else, you can bring in a guitar, for example, or an entire chariot if it's feasible.
Virtual backgrounds, what I heard, were not allowed. Of course, props, any kind.
Right.
So I wanted to know about virtual background because once I saw a speaker, I don't know what technology he used. It disappeared on the screen itself. It was totally online and he disappeared, and it was all technology. It was not ISC, but it was a speech that he delivered. It looked good because the content he had, it fitted there, so it was really effective. So these kind of things are allowed or no in ISC? Now in person, they're not allowed, no?
In person, I mean, it's not practical to have virtual background in person. But if it's online or hybrid, it can be used. Again, it has to be disclosed to the contestant. If you heard that it's not allowed, it was recommended to not use because you might lose the hands, for example, in the virtual.
Yeah.
So it was recommended to not use, but it should be still your own risk.
Okay.
At your own risk.
And again, how important is showing it to your mentor, taking them through the speeches as well prior to the
Is that
contest?
you?
Yeah.
Yes. So I forgot to highlight.
So anyone scolded you for painting your face?
No,
Can he complete
I
the
will-
question? Thank you.
yeah. So mentor, right? I think I had a different sort of a journey with my mentor. I couldn't run my entire speech through my mentor and all of that because maybe they weren't able to understand is what I felt.
Yeah.
Again, it was slightly against the norm of doing a lot of these things, and they felt that you don't have a story, for example, this, that, etc. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that one thing, since I was part of the people who had heard your speeches back then, do you think for an audience to grasp an abstract thought or even something as different as not being the central character of the story loses on the judges, if not the audience?
Yes. I've seen this because maybe it's the way the judges are trained or it's the culture or the norm. But then we can always try to change the norm if possible. Your speech should be such strong, right? And I used to tell to somebody last year, I think Shamini, that no matter what, even you might have heard that the judges could be biased.
Yeah.
Heard, faced, possibly.
Yeah.
So your speech should be such strong that even the biased judges would vote for you. Forget the biased judges or whether they'll give you, whether they'll vote you for not having a story or the central character, but just go on to give your best because we're not there to just give whatever is there in the template. You're just there to show your own self, what you believe is right, and then let's see if it works.
Yeah,
In an effective.
in judging criteria, we don't have any such thing that it should be as per the norms, no, nothing like it. It should appeal.
It should.
Only criteria is it should appeal to the, and how has the audience taken it? This is one of the parameters to judge. Now, my another question is about this, that do we have to have a message in our speech? I was told last year when I was preparing for SC, I showed my speech to one of my Toastmaster colleagues, and he said, "There's no message as such."
There's a small mention that the purpose. Now, I wouldn't say a purpose is
But
directly
if the purpose is entertaining, does it have to have a?
not necessary. I would say, as per the judging criteria, no.
There's no such thing in the judges' criteria. That's what I.
Sorry,
But-
sorry to interrupt, we are running out of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just maybe take a question from the online
Absolutely.
participants and then we can have this on. Any questions from anybody joining online? Ankur, Mona Lisa? Otherwise, we'll continue with.
No, as of now, nothing.
Okay, cool. So we take this question last from Tanuja and then.
No, we can talk later.
We don't hear.
We are running out of time.
I have a question. So, do you need to be a member to?
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
You have to be.
Level two, you need to come.
Okay, so so I think I don't remember exactly, but I think I did complete my level 2 3 years ago. But it was in a different club. So does that matter?
Works.
Okay.
Works. You have to be a member of the club you're contesting.
Okay.
Like a standing member. Yeah.
Okay.
Good standing. What does good standing?
Please.
Sean and juice. Thank you so much for that. For that improvisation act, I forgot to introduce him properly also. He went up to the district level. That's amazing, and that was his first attempt last year. This year,
last time.
This year is going to be the second attempt. So
No, he cannot.
2 attempts.
He's a
Division director.
division director.
Sorry, I forgot. Yeah, he's a division director, so he cannot attempt, but definitely he can motivate and inspire his club members to do so. Now with that electrifying session from the electrifying speaker, his own personal stories were involved, how he did and what experiments he did and how he felt, and he told us also to try with new things. With that, we now come to the second session of our meeting today, which is the prepared speech section. I happen to be the evaluator also for this, so I will not get out of the stage at present. I will let me introduce the object of the speakers, the only speaker, the lone speaker that we have today in our prepared speech section. She's attempting her level 1, project 2, which says that you have to speak or craft a speech and deliver a speech which has a purpose, a specific purpose. And in this, the basic structure of a speech is to be noticed, especially by the evaluator. The basic structure means how has she structured it and what is the specific purpose? Has it come out clearly or not? Because every speech, as we all know, has to have a purpose. It can be inspiring, motivating, informative, or entertaining. So do we have a purpose? Is it properly structured? Has the message come out well? These are the evaluation guidelines for that speaker. Our speaker for today is a girl so sincere and dedicated in all her roles that I have seen her playing up to now. From the point that I have joined Toastmasters, though she says she calls herself a Sikini from Bhatinda, but I believe she is a plain, simple girl who impresses by her looks, by her personality in the first place itself. She loves music. She played wonderful guitar on our what was 100 what was the next 150th meeting, and she loves to watch TV series. The latest one that she's watching is Silicon Valley. Am I right? Okay, I have a very poor memory, so thanks for remembering. Let's welcome our speaker for today, Toastmaster Harsha. Harsha on AI on the rise, Toastmaster Harsha.
Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let me start by asking you a very quick question. What comes to your mind when you hear the term AI or artificial intelligence?
Layoff.
Sorry?
Layoff.
Right. So, being a huge movies buff myself and a big fan of sci-fi genre, there have been many movies like Terminator, Matrix, or if you're a Marvel fan, Avengers Age of Ultron. So in those movies, AI is mostly depicted as a villain that wreaks havoc on our planet in order to control and destroy the entire humanity. So for me as well, when I heard the term AI for the very first time in my life, the picture that came to my mind was robots and machines gaining super intelligence, becoming even more intelligent and superior than a human mind, attacking our world in order to wipe out the entire humanity. But is it really so? Is AI really going to be the end of the world? The pace with which we are having the technological advancements in AI, and with all the big tech corporate giants, Amazon, Microsoft, Google, investing huge amounts of money in AI research, would we really be able to achieve what is known as the God level super intelligence, surpassing the levels of the most intelligent creature ever created by God? Is AI going to change the world for the better or the worse? But what exactly is AI? To understand the idea behind AI, we should first be able to understand what exactly distinguishes a human brain with respect to other creatures. It's our ability to learn from past experiences and applying those learnings to new situations. We are able to do that because of our advanced brain power. And it's a matter of fact. It's a fact actually. that a human brain has more neurons than any other animal species living on this planet. But on the flip side, human brain has limited memory. For me as well, I'm hardly able to remember anything more than a week. So yeah, so on the other side of the spectrum, when it comes to mimicking the most complex neural network of a human brain, computers are nowhere near it. But they have one significant advantage over us. They are able to process vast amounts of data, vast amounts of information that is fed to it much faster than any human could ever imagine. So think of it this way: if we are able to apply this human intelligence to a machine with unlimited amount of computing power, unlimited amount of memory, we would get a system with artificial intelligence that is able to complete any complex task within minutes that would take hours or even years for a human brain to complete. Just like we use our brain to learn from the information fed through our senses, artificial intelligence or AI learn from the information fed to it. That information or data can be in the form of large spreadsheets for predicting sales or large sets of images for object or facial recognition, just like we have Google Photos. So you might have seen that whenever you post any picture on social media platform like Facebook or Instagram, the platform generally suggests you that these are the people in your image. Do you want to tag them? So how is it able to recognize that these are the people in your image? It's all the magic of AI. Take the product recommendation system by Amazon. So whenever you buy a product, Amazon generally recommends you a similar set of products that you might be interested in. Now think of a scenario. Just imagine Google server going down for a day. Can you imagine even a single day without Google search? So these days we Google search just like we drink water. So it might as well very well be true that we can live without food and water, but we can't live without Google search. So that's the level of impact AI has on our everyday lives without us even realizing it. So whenever you ask Siri or Google Assistant to do some task for you, you use Snapchat filters, or when junk emails get filtered out of your inbox, or when you get traffic update on your Google Maps or Uber, AI is at work. We are already living in a world where surgeries are being operated by robots. All the heavy lifting work in industries is being done by big complex machines. I don't know how many of you have heard about it, but there is a restaurant in Silicon Valley where they are using robots to make pizzas. So AI is rapidly changing the way we live, interact, and work in this world. But with great power comes great responsibility. Today's AI is able to beat humans in things like predicting stock prices or playing board games like chess or Go. AI is in self-driving cars, in smart homes, and in healthcare sector where it is even able to predict tumors. But it has limited power. Today's AI still needs humans to occasionally tell it, yes, you are doing the right thing, or no, that is not correct. The end goal of all of this is to achieve a level of AI where it doesn't need a human hand, where it doesn't need any humans to hold its hand and to tell it what to do. I think a computer would deserve to be called intelligent if it is able to finally deceive humans into believing that, yes, it was indeed a human with whom he was interacting with. A rapid increase in the AI technology would either be the best or the worst of the things that could ever happen to humanity. We don't know yet which of it is. I guess we'll find out if we get to live to that day. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Harsha. I can see your hand is rigid. Thank you for delivering that speech and telling us what AI can do and is doing to us. It is really interesting to know. With this, we come to the end of the prepared session, and I am sure that this speech was informative. It was to me. I come from a non-technical background, so especially it was informative to me what AI is doing. I still don't understand what AI can do. Now we come to our last section of this meeting today, which is the evaluation section. Because after all, whatever we do need to know how we have done, don't we? And in Toastmasters especially, there is no principal, no teacher, a general evaluator in the role of a father or a mother who tells us, yes, you have done this very well, and on this you can do still better. So let me call upon the general evaluator for today, Toastmaster Audioji, to tell us.
I'll hand the stage over to the speech evaluator.
Give me some time, please.
Okay, I'll share for time.
2 minutes, yes.
I would be requesting the timer for today's meeting to tell us about the times recorded.
Sure, so this I would still think is an interim report because we just had a prepared speech. I need to evaluate, give the report for the evaluator. So Toastmaster Harsha took 6 minutes and 14 seconds. Deliver a speech.
Okay, so I will do a general observations so far in the meeting. The meeting started on time, and I am thankful for everyone coming on time in person and even online. So that is much appreciated. Needs a Postmaster Kalpesh. He has come and he has been doing this role for quite some time now, and every time I see him on stage, he's adding more value, and he's becoming more fluent with this role, and I congratulate you for the same. One brief area of recommendation would be, I am fond of introducing people. So if you are introducing the presiding officer or the president of the meeting, try to find out what, try to describe them a little bit. Because I personally like to do so. So I would give you that recommendation because that person will also feel special that yes, I am coming on the stage. That helps them because a lot of time role takers do not want to come, but if you introduce them nicely, they will come. Yeah, and today we had a great theme for today's meeting. Initially, when I read the theme of the meeting, I was wondering whether thumbs up would be served during the course of the meeting. Like everyone did. And Toastmaster Tanuja, I will tell you what I actually like about her. So I have been allotted a few mentees, people to mentor. And the first thing I told that person was, see how Tanuja madam speaks with people. It's in a very kind, caring manner. And she does not dictate things to people. She very kindly, warmly will tell people. And that is one thing I actually appreciate about her. And that is one thing we also should inculcate while presenting our thoughts to the opposite person. Yeah. And she told us about her journey from a Toastmaster who was reluctant and why she was taken by the thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning is actually a scary experience, but once you get used to it, the beauty of it draws you to explore more. So I appreciate the way she was explaining the theme very metaphorically. I love the anecdotes and the analogies. So full credits to you on that. And also one thing, as I like to appreciate people or introducing speakers, madam, you did a great job with regard to that. And I would excuse myself from evaluating the keynote speaker because I'm not entitled to do it. Okay, one thing I would make a suggestion to the VP. I had made a request that he should come on the stage with a hat. He only came with a hat in the meeting room. Okay, that's a joke we have with Siddharth. He has been a great friend, and it was a great speech. What Siddharth, I have known him ever since he started delivering speeches regularly. And what I found about him that he wants to be a little different from others, be his speeches, be his thoughts, be his actions. And as a leader also, he has done a lot of things. Last year, he had this medley army where he focused on preparing people for contests. And that was a very great initiative he had taken, and I also had benefited from the same. So thank you, Siddharth, for coming all the way from, where did you go? Rajaji Nagar, that's quite a journey. And okay, there's something I would be mentioning to the organizers post the meeting, given that we are going to have a lot of keynote speeches in the coming term. One thing, okay, I will tell it now only, is that we have to ensure that we have some gifts ready for. And now I will hand it over to the evaluator.
Toastmaster Harsha, your project was to structure your speech well with a specific purpose. I must say, I give you full credit, full marks, 100 out of 100 in structuring your speech. In the purpose, the specific purpose, I would give you 75 marks out of 100. You had a great start when you connected with the audience on asking, what does AI bring to your mind? Very good start, because that's a way you should start. It's one of the ways that a speech needs to be started, to be interactive. The body was well divided into 3 points. What is it actually intelligence? How many big companies are investing in it? And then you explored its uses, what it can do, and what it is doing. That was the 3rd point of the body of the speech. Your ending was also quite interesting, because you said, should we allow AI to do all this? And to what extent can it take over the human responsibilities and the human activities, and can it be trusted by doing that? I really liked your structure. Now, why did I give you 75 out of 100 in the purpose? The specific purpose did not come out that clear to me for 2 reasons. Number 1, those are also the points of improvement for you, Toastmaster Harsha. Your preparation was a little below my expectations. Like, you could have prepared very well. You were in between looking at the points that you have noted down. But that's okay, because it's just your start. It's your 2nd speech after icebreaker. So given that you still to develop those skills, it's okay. I am being liberal on that, but it's better that you come prepared. It's a prepared speech section. 2nd point is, and because of that preparation being a little less than expected, you were sounding more of just reading from your mind what you have remembered, stilted. What we use a word is stilted performance, because you were not actually involved in what you were saying. Okay, you're 100% from the heart. You have a hold on the subject. I know you're an engineer, you have a hold on the subject. Still, that has to come from inside. So that's why. And the 2nd point is, see, I'm from a totally non-technical background. Totally. I'm still to understand so many words that you used in the speech. So jargons were used. For these 2 reasons, the specific purpose didn't come out very well. Otherwise, the structure, I give you 100 marks for that. Structure very well. Your delivery was good. A little bit, because I'm not focusing more on the body language, because that's after this. The project of body language is after that. After this, you develop slowly and slowly all the skills. This is only for the structure and the purpose. So the purpose has to be clear, minus the jargons. It has to be for the layman. What, I know it's going over time a little, but I just want to specify this. What and how it connects to not just the Toastmasters, but also to people outside the Toastmasters. I'm a layman as far as engineering words and AI is concerned. I'm still to understand what is actually AI. to be frank, to be honest. So from that standpoint, otherwise, all very well. Thank you.
I agree with most of the observations Tanuja ma'am had for the speaker, including the stilted part of it, which was communicated, which was told to her in the last feedback also. So that is one thing you have to work on, Harsha. I appreciate the way you have expressed your views on the speech. Only one thing is that you have to know how to manage the time, because if you are evaluating in the contest also. So one thing as a area of recommendation for you, Toastmaster Tanuja, would be to manage time. And for Harsha, I have just one recommendation: great speech, good speech. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I love it simple. You are very expressive, but a strong voice, that is a great asset you have. However, when you finish your speech, stay here for 5 seconds. Let the person come, go. Because it will also help you cool your nerves. Because the next observation came was your hand is frigid. So ensure that you have given the speech, now you are relaxed. Relax a little bit. I was a person who likes to run away from a dicey situation, but ensure that you stay here for 5 seconds, have a deep breath, and then hand it over to the Toastmaster. Little things, small things, but great speech. Thank you for that. Now I will request the timer to tell us about the time taken by Toastmaster.
Thank you. Toastmaster Tanuja took 3 minutes 46 seconds to deliver her evaluation.
We have the counter for today's meeting. Sandeep.
So for today's speech, there was one usage of the word sorry, 15 usages of and there are a few repetitions. So I'll just list them down. So is AI going to be was repeated. Giant, I think you stumbled upon that word. A human brain, today's AI, and but it has been repeated. These were the words which were repeated. So that's why.
Yes, Sandeep. Since this is your first role as a Toastmaster, as a role taker, as an account, I hope you repeat this for the next meeting also, because you have to focus on every speaker who has come on the. Okay. And I'm thankful that you ignored it, because I have a lot of. Thank you for that. Next, I would invite the lenient Ramanian for today's meeting.
So the word of the day, I was very lucky today that had the word artificial in that. So apart from Toastmaster Harsha and Toastmaster Tanuja, I don't think anybody used it, and I lost count of how many times you have used it, because it was AI is artificial intelligence. So thank you for that. The good usage. There were many words, phrases used today which evoked a picture in your mind, and that is something I really like. Thunder and lightning, shivers inside, Pandit of puns. I am what I think you think I am. I really love that. Propelled further, thoughts resonate, flight taking off, wreaks havoc. With great power comes great responsibility. That's an evergreen line, and I love it whenever it is used in the right context. Frigid, anecdotes and analogies, and stilted. These are words which took the speech or the phrase to a next level. It evoked a picture in your mind. I do not have any specific instances of improvements. Most of it was pretty much on the same lines. There might have been minor slip up somewhere, but that is all. That's totally acceptable. Thank you.
Toastmaster Vinayak follows Adi Shankaracharya. I'll tell you why. Because Adi Shankaracharya in his poem, that poem Bhaja Govinda, he tells the second line is ignore grammar, just Bhaja Govinda. Focus on the good things only. Why are you focusing on grammar? I appreciate that. Even like one thing you missed out was he used a Sanskrit shloka. He said, I will be explaining it later, and he did not. Okay, we would need that for our contest. So. Okay. And I enjoyed the meeting throughout. One more appreciation is for our guests and also Toastmaster Ankur. But there was a brief moment of power outage. And that brief moment when we resumed the meeting, Ankur was taking care of the people, of the guests online. So appreciate.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ankur. I am normally disappointed that Ankur is not in person, but today I am happy that he was online and managed the event. On that note, I will hand it over to the TM Meeting for today's meeting.
We come to the end of our beautiful session today. I enjoyed it to the core. I'm not saying artificially. It's genuine. I really enjoyed everything. Every input given over here, everyone contributed so well to the meeting that I'm sure we will all take back some good things, some learnings from today's meeting, especially from our electrifying speaker. Saying all that, let me. Okay, so we had a very unconventional way of looking at ISC through his eyes, through his words today, which is a valid point to take. We should not stick to the rules as given and told to us over time through ages. We should look for novelty also. This is the takeaway, main takeaway for me from Siddharth, Toastmaster Siddharth. I loved it. The aspect that you brought to it. And since some of us over here are also going to be judges in these contests, we will definitely keep that in mind, that these things are also to be taken into account while judging our contestants. With this, I hand over the stage back to our presiding officer, Toastmaster.
Everyone of us for the TM Meeting and all the road takers. Very special thanks to Toastmaster Siddharth. The reason I called him, invited him for this to be the education, to anchor the education session on international speech contest. We have seen a lot of speeches, but there's one thing that just struck me ever since he gave his district speech. The power went off in between. He couldn't complete the speech. But just the one thought of him flipping and showing the Joker face, right? So it stuck with me for the last 2 years now, almost 2021 was it?
21st.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic, and I knew that he would do something which is unconventional for us as well, not give a regular rigmarole of how an ISC is supposed to be done. He gave his thoughts very authentically, and I trusted him for that. We didn't have any prep for this per se, but I knew he would do something which is very insightful for us. A few things that he told us was really good, right? So it's not about us reaching their emotions, it's about them unlocking their stories. I think that was phenomenal. Do evaluations more to be a better speaker. Thank you for that, sir. Truly appreciate you taking the time coming all the way on Sunday morning after all the marriage marathons. Truly appreciate you joining. I'm sincerely telling you this. Thank you very much. We have a few more education sessions happening in February. Please encourage fellow Toastmasters to join in as well. It will be much better when we have extra participation as well. Thank you so much. I draw meeting number 159 to a close.